Welcome to Unfertile and Unfiltered, a unfiltered podcast about male factor infertility. My name is Sydney.
My name's Matt.
And this is our story. This week we're going to be talking about therapy, your donor therapy session you've gone through, some of the things that people have said to us, what's helped us, what's hurt us,
All the fun Instagram
some of the
comments you
hate
get.
we've gotten on Instagram, and just all things infertility. So if you go a known donor route, you are required to go to a donor specific therapist that talks to you, talks to their spouse, or talks to the donor, and if they're married, their spouse, then you have to do a session together. And so I was given these contacts when we were heavily or seriously considering known donor. And as you've been going to different therapy or group therapy that you've just kind of gone downhill as far as effectiveness.
Bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts. We've thought about the fact that it would be better for you to go to an actual therapist that is familiar with donor situations, donor feelings, and all that. So I reached out to her. She's in Park City, Utah. She does virtual though. And you had your first session like 2 weeks ago? Or a week and a half ago?
Not last Friday, but the 2 Fridays ago.
Yeah. Just over the phone. Yeah, so I figured we'd go over that. I think it'd be helpful for a lot of people to hear that are going through donor. Like, based off what you told me, it was very beneficial for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still the guy that's like, therapy, whatever. But it is good for you.
Okay, so tell me about, what did you guys talk about?
So she basically was like, tell me your story, let me hear about it. Went through all my frustrations and all that. And she was basically, what we got to at the core was, which I guess these are why we got some of the Instagram hate comments because of this, but when I was first processing the whole sperm donor situation, my initial thoughts were like, it's not my kid. I'm raising yours and someone else's child. And I was really big on I'm like, why are we calling it a donor? The donor is the biological father, which is true, but they're not the father. Like, they're not fathering the child. So the biggest thing for her was you need to stop using biological father and just call it donor. And she's like, in the donor world, that's what it's called. Doctors, anyone that relates to it, it's called a donor. And I'm like, okay, but you guys, and this was where I was like, okay, I understand that. But from the person that is going to receive the child, you guys are just a bunch of medical people and everything's just all medical. Like, it's just an egg to you. It's just a sperm to you.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, well, no, but it's not my biological child.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, she was teaching me like, no, like using the word donor will help you realize because obviously I know I will be the father. I will raise that child. I will love that child. They'll call me dad, all that. But she's like, if you can catch yourself and stop saying like the biological father, she's like, that's just hurting you. It's not helping your situation. So she's like, you got to train your brain to stop thinking as they're the biological father. They're not going to be in their life for the first 18 years, if not their whole life, depending on what the child wants, right?
Yeah.
So that was the biggest help of what she was just like, you gotta, she's like, there's a lot of validity in it, but you have to pull that out.
Yeah. I feel like you also mentioned to me there was an element of, well, you've talked about your concerns about being rejected or by the kid saying like, you're not my real dad.
Yeah, there's definitely, I was talking to her about a lot of fear of like, for me, actually through that session it was not my fear that I'm not the dad. It was the fear that there will come a time where I will be rejected of like, well, you're not actually my real dad.
Yeah.
Like, we don't share genetics.
Yeah.
And bless the therapist's hearts, but she's like, parent will face a time where their child rejects them. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of kids where they're like, I wish you weren't my mom. I don't wish you weren't my dad.
Yeah.
But the way I'm thinking, and I think that's probably, I'm sure it's difficult for any parent to hear their child do that, but it's probably during their bratty years, right? But the way I view it is it just feels like it'll cut a little deeper.
Yeah.
As someone that, because like, you get the phrase of like, well, your mom could never not love you, right?
Yeah.
But it's different when it's like, when your child could reject you and be like, well, you're not actually my dad, so screw you.
So it's mostly just feeling. So one of your fears and your holdbacks is that you'll be rejected, and they'll basically say you're not my real dad, and it's
They can
true
use it as
for
it's
you. It
true.
feels true to you
Well,
from
it
right
is
now, feeling like looking at it
it is
when you
true
look at it from a biological standpoint.
when you look at it from a
Yeah,
biological standpoint, yes.
yeah. Do you have any fear about like? I don't know. I think there's some fears to me that if we go into sperm donor and we go through the process, that like when things get hard, there could be pieces of you that are like, well, that's not my kid, so I don't need to deal with that. Like, are there any pieces of you that are worried that you would reject? I don't know. That's something that I'm worried about. Is if you go into it with like with those, if you go into it not wanting a donor, and then we do that, then like almost you rejecting the child.
I mean, I think it'd be ignorant of me to say that there will never be a moment in my life where
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't cross my mind, or it might happen once or twice, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm not a perfect person. But I could definitely see that being something that I could easily like cope out with, of like, I mean, even if you're like, hey, I'm really tired, like change the diaper, and then me being like, well, it's not my kid. You change it. You know what I mean?
That's why you're gonna be in therapy
That's why
for
you're
so much time.
But yeah, so I think I'd be a liar if I said that I would never have thoughts or actions that could lead to that. But I know that I know I'm capable of love, and and actually, so I don't forget about this.
Yeah.
We were in that session. We were talking about. She's like, your ability, like, because my whole life I've dreamt of being a dad, and it's like, hey, I'll have my own kids, my little boys or girls or whatever happens. And when I found out the news, she's like, your fear of what type of father you could be, like, left out of fear. Like, great, now I can't be the dad I want to be. Now I can't love the kids I want to be. But she's like, no, like, none of that has to change. She's like, you can still be the exact type of father you want to be, which is fun dad. Fun dad. I'm gonna be fun
You're
dad.
gonna be too fun, Dad. We also need to go to therapy for that one.
Um,
Because you're gonna
and
make me be the mean person.
she helped me realize, she's like, nothing you want to be as a dad has to change. She's like, you can be the exact same dad you want to be.
Yeah, what does fun dad look like to you? What does that entail?
Fun dad is hey, here's a piece of candy, don't tell mom.
There's so many problems in that.
But here, no, and I agree.
But okay, but fun dad is like,
I'm sure there's moments where that's okay, but I also think there's gonna be moments where you can do that.
like,
Of like, don't,
this is our little
hey,
secret.
hey, don't tell dad I gave you this. You know?
We'll have to find a way to do that in a healthy way so our kids don't think that we're against each other.
No,
And
it's
I feel
true.
like your dream too is to probably be like the friend's dad that everybody's like, that
The
guy's
friend's
fun.
dad that
That
everyone
guy's
likes.
cool.
I want to be the cool guy.
You want to be a cool dad.
Yeah.
Which I feel like you already are. We are in our church congregation. We're youth leaders, so I'm over the girls, and you are with the older boy or with the
Yeah.
boys. And I feel like they just are obsessed with you.
Yeah.
You're fun leader.
I think they enjoy my presence.
Well, I think what it is that you're really good at getting on somebody's level of like
It's my aura.
your aura. What's your aura? What does that
I
even
have an
mean?
aura that radiates, and I like that guy.
Radiates. Like I like that guy.
Well, there's been a couple times where like you have friends, and then like, and this is not with everyone, and this is totally like, I guess I'm not being cocky, but you've been like, why the heck is it this way? Where like the girl's friends will then like try to really become buddies with me, and you're like, why are they trying so hard to become your friend? You're not doing, like, you don't even care. They're like you don't care, and they want to be, and like they're trying really hard to be your friend.
Like we get to know a couple, another married couple, and Matt, you don't put in a ton of effort with the dudes, and all of a sudden these guys are obsessed with them, and I'm like, you are literally a jerk. Like you don't even like, not really.
Oh,
you're not a jerk.
Whoa.
But you're not even like trying with these these husbands, and they're just like, yeah, Matt, we love Matt. Matt's great. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You're not even trying, and these guys are like, yeah, we love Matt.
Yeah.
So that's great.
It's tricky like that.
It's tricky. It's tricky to be liked. No, yeah. So that's really cool that you were able to.
Well, and I think, at least from my perspective, is I try to, like, get on people's levels and try and read. Like, some of the boys that could be struggling, like, in our ward, like, I try and get on their level and understand them versus, like, "You need this and this and this." It's like, "No, like, where you at, bro?" You know?
Yeah.
So,
Which then from a parent standpoint is exactly what you need to do. And then there's another extra step of like, I
I'm
love you,
still
so
gonna be
therefore I'm
fun,
giving
dad.
you discipline. But I love you, so therefore I'm giving you discipline.
Yeah,
That's where I feel like we gotta get on that
it's
page too.
true.
But okay, so that's awesome that you're able to talk to her about.
Yeah, but I know we were gonna do an episode a couple weeks ago about it, but I was about, like, how I was doing
Yeah.
the first couple weeks,
I think I asked you how you're doing,
and I
and you're
was
like, I
like,
don't want to talk
"You're
about it.
like, I wanna do an episode on this." I'm like, "Hell no." Pardon my French. I was like, I don't wanna do that." Cause I was not. I was going about my way, but, like, I was not doing very good. And it was, I was I wasn't ever really mad at God because I knew, like, God didn't make this happen. Like, he didn't give it to me,
But I think
right?
some of your anger is that God, you know that he could heal you.
There's part of me that's like, he could literally boom, and
Yeah.
I've got germ cells now. But there was just, like, I had a lot of anger towards the world of, like, and I had a lot of toxic thoughts too.
Like what?
Of, like, I mean, I told you about this one of, like, honestly, let's just like, and obviously we're not doing this, like,
Yeah.
very clearly.
Just
The
emotions.
reality of, like, being unfiltered is there were moments where I'm like, "We should get divorced. I should go try and find a single mother with kids, and you go find a guy that's fertile." Like, all our problems would end. It'd just be simple. Obviously, that we're not doing that, but, like, there was moments where I was like, why deal with all this bull crap when we could just go do that?
Why did you feel like it needed to like are there parts of you that are mourning the experience that now I have to go through? Or like why did you feel like again, just those toxic thoughts. But why did you feel the need that divorce would fix it? Because then you don't
Because
have to
then like, well, I think there's two aspects. The one aspect of, okay, great, you can find someone based on what the tests we've done. You've got tons of
fallopian tubes.
no,
I've got a
fol-
lot of follicles.
ton
Yeah.
like twice as many follicles as the average woman.
At least that cycle.
At least that
So
cycle.
yeah, keep going.
But of like, no, it'll be easier. You don't have to go through all this tests, spend all this money on. Not that divorce is cheap or anything.
Oh darn.
But, like, I don't know, it was, like, simple. You go find a man, you can get pregnant the normal way, and you have to deal with all these tests, and I know IVF's not great on a woman's body because you're pumping chemicals in, and it's
Yeah.
forcing a bunch of eggs to drop, and then part of me is like, if I were to go just marry a single mother, like, boom, like, I'm taking in those kids, and then it's not like like, you know, it just felt simple. Obviously, I worked out of that silly scenario.
And we talked about it a lot, yeah.
And we talked about it.
And maybe a part of it was that if you did that, then it wouldn't be so blaringly obvious to you that you're infertile. In the scenario of like,
It would almost hide the problem.
yeah, basically it would those emotions were you trying to avoid the feeling and the hardship of that problem,
Yes.
which is totally fine. Like that was where you were at and what you were feeling.
Yeah.
And also in that scenario, it's like, no, obviously I'm not your dad. You obviously have a different dad, but I can still be a version of a dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you got divorced and whatever. Yeah.
And I mean, in those moments of like for the first couple weeks of just dealing and processing, there was just a lot of anger towards the world.
Mm-hmm.
In a pretty unhealthy way. Didn't want to go to activities, didn't want to hang out, I didn't want to go to church. Like, it was, I mean, yeah, what were you seeing in those first couple weeks?
Well, first couple weeks, I don't think it's first couple weeks, but meaning just in January, I think you were so angry and there's some frustrations and like hurt that I think so people are like, oh, has infertility impact your marriage? The answer is obviously yes.
Yeah.
I made a video about it. I don't know. Did you see that video?
Maybe.
I was like, we're not some perfect comment.
Oh, I watched part of it.
Yeah. I think where the hurt came is that there was an element of you that I think was shutting me out and saying, like, "You don't understand what I'm going through."
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And, like, no empathy for what I am now going through as a meaning we're
Well,
both.
I think it's gotten a little better, but there was definitely it was because it was such a quick turn from, "Hey, you're infertile," to, "Boom, now you've got some appointments." And, it's not easy for you to have to, because now you have to get a hysteroscopy on Monday, get
Yeah,
all that extra tissue out,
yeah,
of you being, like, bummed to find that out. Because we found that out, what, like 3 or 4 weeks, or, well, your last cycle, so back in
yeah, so about a yeah, a
early
month ago.
early January,
Yeah,
and I was just not in a place to, like, uh, be there and comfort for you because 'cause I'm like, "You can have kids, I can't. It's
yeah,
different. Like, why are you pounding?" But in reality, like, now you have to go through some stuff, and you need me to be there for you.
yeah, yeah. So
Because I definitely was not in January. It was grumpy. I'm like, this is stupid," and I was a lot less, like, open to the idea of a donor.
yeah, yeah. Which I don't think I mean, it's so tough because you're like, I'm yeah, totally down for donuts, fine." And then I think reality set in, and then it was like, "Okay, no, I definitely don't want a donor." And so then there was me sitting here, like, one of the things that I think has been hard. Well, yeah, so you not validating the experience that I was going through, because it felt like I was then going through this hard thing alone
Yeah,
because I didn't have a husband that was like, "Yeah, this is hard, we can mourn together." It was like "No, we can't mourn together because you don't get it."
and we're mourning 2 separate things, so do it yourself.
You're like, "Suck it up, do it
Suck it up.
yourself, have fun."
Yeah.
And then one thing that I was talking to my mom one of those days, it was that was really, really hard for me. And I was just like, one of the things that I think is so hard is that knowing that you basically get to control when I get to have kids. Well, in that moment when you're like, "I don't think I want a donor. I don't know. Like, I don't know when I want to have kids." There was this emotion of like, what he doesn't understand is that I don't get to be in control of when I have kids. I have to wait on his timeline.
Yeah.
Which I feel like some marriage context, not that we're gonna just I'm not gonna air out all of our dirty laundry, but in the last couple of years, we've had some struggles, just as married people do, and a lot of them have been you kind of putting off dealing with like those emotional struggles.
Yeah.
And so some of that extra context that I feel like people might miss is that I have observed you pushing off dealing with some, like, things. Geez, now I'm, like, so vague. Anyways, I've dealt with you pushing off different things for 2 years
You've wanted me to work on.
that I've wanted you to work on, and so that part of that fear and that mourning that I have gone through is, well, I waited for 2 years, and we're still working through that, so how much longer am I gonna have to wait for him to be in a good place to have a kid?
Sydney's like, "You found out he was infertile a month ago? Let's ha
Get on it.
what are we doing?
Get on it. No, I'm
Let's
just
do it."
So I think that was like has been really, really hard on me. Is like, oh, I genuinely don't have control because my husband's not in an emotional place, and I have to wait for you to
Which
be in
is
an emotional
totally
place,
valid.
and I can't force you to be in an emotional
And then
place.
there's the side of me that's like, "Okay, well, like, let's just 180 my life in 1 month."
I know, and obviously you and I just we
Like, you're the type of
process
person
so
that's like,
differently.
"Great, that doesn't work. Okay, what's the next option?"
Well, and I just think it's from an experience in high school when I kind of moped and was very victim with like just some friend situations and different things, and just in life in general. And I had just some really big experiences that taught me that like moping and being a victim doesn't which is fine, fine if you are, but I had some strong experiences where I was like, I was a victim, I was choosing victim, I was choosing not to be happy and choosing not to see the good in something, and so I don't wanna be in that place again. So now, when I have these experiences, I'm like, "Okay, 1, I know it's gonna turn out okay. 2, like, it's time to move forward, and 3, how do we move forward? It's going to work out, it's going to be okay." So for me, in my head, my end goal is to have kids. And I just feel like I've had some experiences where I've observed that having kids doesn't always mean that they're biologically having to be yours.
Total side note, I was sitting in church,
Uh,
and there was a baby next to me, like
uh,
a couple-month-old baby, and I'm like, "Man, I really wanna be a dad."
you're like, please
So I'm like, "Alright, let's get this woman pregnant." So,
impregnate me.
well, I mean, I can't.
No, I know, but a fertility clinic can impregnate me.
Exactly.
There's another side note, I guess, if we're on side notes, any women's, there is a leader so in church today, there was a leader and her I want to say 6-month-old. I can't remember how old they are. Maybe almost a year. Was making baby or like animal noises. It was the cutest thing ever. She's like, "What does a wolf say?" And he was like, "Woo." And what does a monkey say? She's like, "Woo,
Oh, it
ha,
had to be
ha."
more than 6 months. That's young.
She's like 9 months or 10 months.
Huh.
But it was the cutest thing ever. And I was like, yeah, same thing. I want a baby so bad at some point.
Yeah.
So would you say that therapy session that you said you had so much anger for those 2 weeks? And it was
More than that.
I feel like though it really got bad for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I know you've been angry longer than that, but that one was a doozy. Would you say that therapy session was changed you around, or was there something else? Like, was that the moment that you're like, okay, I feel like I'm making some progress emotionally, or what was that?
Yeah, it was definitely progress. Because I've been doing that men's group, and it just, to me, it was like I'm in therapy and I feel like it's not doing anything.
So
So it
that's
was
probably added.
I was just really annoyed because I'm like, this does nothing.
I think that's actually what ignited your anger.
I think that was because I'm like, why am I here? I'm wasting an hour and a half of my Tuesday. This, like, these guys don't even want to talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
But then it was helpful with her because she's like, yeah, like I hear about this stuff on the daily.
Yeah.
And like actually had like good questions and solutions for me.
Yeah.
When, and this is, I think I've ranted about this, but the frustration is they're like, here's this acronym and it's going to help you with depression. And I'm like, I'm sure it does, but like,
it's not gonna fix my
it's not going to help me. This is not talking about your feeling. This is just like, here's a solution. Go practice it.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure there's a lot of value in those, but it just, I think with being infertile, you need a isolated situation to talk about those feelings, not just the general.
You need
sad.
a niche, like you see the value in having a very niche therapist that understands this specific problem set.
I think if anyone were to find out they're infertile, probably one of the first things they should do is go talk to an infertility counselor.
Yeah. No,
I should have done it a month. I should have done it after I healed from my surgery.
I think honestly, letting it simmer and trying to, because I think after surgery you might have been like, yeah, I'm fine. So I feel like letting it simmer a little bit really helps you understand.
It was
that,
the
like,
week.
Okay, I'm not okay.
I think it was the week after surgery of recovering, and then it was another week where it's like everyone and their dog is making jokes because I'm not the one. I'm not going to be like. I mean, the jokes got annoying after Mr. Spermless or
yeah.
Hey, blank man, or all the I don't know. I don't know if I actually got called this. There's a lot of different like things.
Yeah.
Where like it didn't bother me in the moment. I was never offended, but then it just got old, and I would say 2 weeks after the surgery, then it started. I would say like probably after like Christmas.
Yeah. Well,
New Year, like literally it was January.
Well, no, January you had your first appointment, your first therapy you loved, and then after that you were like, this sucks, and you haven't been loving.
Yeah, because we did the most talking about our issues in the first session, and then it's just been
like pretty surface.
Here's what you can do with this, and
yeah. So actually, yeah, I honestly didn't think about that before, but I think your second therapy is what ignited.
I was like, there was it was not beneficial.
Well, and I think part of it was because all of December, when you were dealing with just that new thing, all of December you were holding on to the hope that like I start therapy in January. Therapy in January is going to help. I'm going to be in a good spot.
The first one was great,
January.
and then it just went down. I'm like, this is done changing.
So that makes sense. Honestly, that makes sense where the anger like all of a sudden started.
We're learning this right now.
So I know. We love it. Love a good discovery. So you think after that therapy session that gave you some good headway, and you have another session with her in 2 weeks? Not this Wednesday, next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think would be good.
Which we might do together.
Yeah, I know you'll have some sessions. I think we'll do a couple sessions together. Because I think it's helpful for both of us to be able to understand both experiences and educate each other on different experiences. But yeah, I'm glad she did a good job. If anybody wants those details, we can definitely provide those as far as her. I know there's a lot of people out there, but she was great. And obviously, I guess if you're a therapist, you have to be licensed in specific states. So it depends on if it's in your state. If it's not there, then I'm sure any fertility clinic you're going to would have recommendations too.
I'm sure it'd be pretty easy to find someone that can do that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, because you have to, if you're doing a known donor, you have to go through a therapist.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you randomly said about the therapy session that you liked. Did you guys talk about embryo adoption at all? Like that route or no?
Yeah, I told her I thought it was stupid.
Did she have any insight on that or no?
No.
She just was like, okay.
Well, because I was like, if she literally can bear children, I'm like, embryo adoption is stupid.
Yeah.
Embryo adoption is a great option for people that cannot have kids, but if you are able to have kids, I think.
Well, sometimes couples do feel better about that if their husband is infertile. Then that works for them. But if you, it just doesn't work for you. Not the move.
I think it's dumb.
What?
I think it's dumb. And then that's one more genetics of like, okay, now you got to pick out what the mother looks like too. Come on.
Well, actually, what you would do is you would pick out a couple that's already has embryos.
Oh,
so you would know
you
the
do a
husband and wife.
couple.
Yeah, you would just like, for example, if we got 10 embryos and we weren't gonna have 10, then we could choose to give those up for adoption. Yeah. Well, I'm honestly really grateful that you did that therapy session. I think it really made a shift for you and was helpful too.
Yeah.
Like in ways that I can't help, right? And I don't understand your experience. And she obviously works with more people that go through that stuff. So God bless Kathy Parker, I think is her name. God bless her. We're a big fan. Speaking of things that people have said to you with infertility,
I've probably only heard a couple of them.
Well, I'm not saying the Instagram hate yet. We can jump into the Instagram hate if you want.
No, let's do that one. Let's do this one.
I was just gonna say, well, okay, we'll jump into the Instagram hate one, and then we'll go to the things people have said to us, depending on how much time we have. We've obviously been very open on Instagram. I posted one of that video of me saying you need to go to therapy.
The clip from the last session?
I think was it last week? I think it was the week before.
Oh, no, it was 2 weeks ago.
And I actually thought that I was going to get serious hate because I was saying, you need to go to therapy. But we got the opposite, and I was surprised by that.
He should.
Yeah.
Way to stand up
well,
for
one person was like, way to set your boundaries. And I was like, actually, I really appreciate that somebody... Because it really was. In that moment, when you're saying something that angry, like, I was like, I can't fix this. That is a therapy thing that needs to be fixed. Like, Yeah. Anyway, so... Thanks.
Wait, but that's not a mean thing.
No, that wasn't a mean thing.
Oh, these are just...
And honestly, there wasn't a ton of mean things. I was going to read some of the random stuff based off of, like, different posts. Not just that one. For this post...
Are you going to include the hot take one?
Hot take. If he feels this way, he's not the one.
That's what it was.
That was, yeah. That was a good one.
Whoever... that's the one I actually saw. And I was this close to responding.
What were you going to say? What would you say to them?
Geez, let a man grieve for a second.
Wait, I feel like we should, just because I'm curious what will ignite.
Should I respond as me and be like, can I grieve? I just found out I'm infertile.
I think you should because I'm actually really curious. I mean, there's no logicking with these people. Like, they will fire back.
Yeah.
100% they will fire back and it will be awful. But I think it would be kind of funny and interesting.
See what she says?
Comments like that, like, do you get really hurt?
Those don't affect... Here's the thing. I'm the type of guy that's like, unless it's someone's opinion that like directly affects my life, I don't really care what people
unless
say.
It's somebody that you care about their opinion, kind of a thing, like a friend or
like your opinion, my parents, boss, that kind of stuff. Of like, unless you're gonna actually affect my life, you can say whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah. So they can say whatever they want. They said whatever they wanted.
Speak your mind. And to be honest, if there's people that follow you and like are frustrated with things that I've said, I'd love to hear it. Yeah. Well,
here's the thing. None of these people have logic that they're bringing to the conversation because they're literally just people that have no... I don't know. People are just mean on the internet, which is fine. So I listened to
It's just a bunch of people hiding behind a screen.
I listened to a creator once and she said that she gave like ideas of things that you could say. One of them was so true or totally, or why would you say something like, or what an interesting thing to say. Like random things you can say to people because you literally can't logic with them. So you might as well like just respond in a random way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up the Instagram to see if there's any other ones that I missed. So there was that one. Another one was, oh wait, okay. Oh, nope. Don't have kids with this man. Run away, please.
Sid, there's the door.
Better run away. What are we doing? Another one was, if you're that hesitant to raise another man's child, maybe you don't deserve a kid at all.
That one was for you, right?
Well,
Wait.
no, if you're that hesitant to raise another man's child,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
maybe you don't deserve a kid at all. Parental!
Jeez, let a man grieve.
I don't know, let him agree. Here's the thing, these people, it's fine. I really thought that I was gonna get all the hate. Okay, some other random things people said. Really radical idea. This is something it was a
Oh,
while
this
back.
one was a while ago.
Really radical idea. Actually, okay, context. I was saying like I can't believe people have kids on accident. That's crazy. So I wasn't even like trying to be controversial. But
This
there's
one
like,
was directed at you, right?
oh yeah. Said, well, both of us, really radical idea. If you and your husband need to spend thousands of dollars to get pregnant, maybe it's a sign that you shouldn't get pregnant. That's what they said. I was like, whoa. And that was actually an entire thread that
Oh, that had like 50 comments, didn't it?
not 50, but it definitely had a
What was funny though, from what I remember, is I think all the comments were people bashing her for saying that, right?
people were pretty mad at her. Or there were some people that really agreed with this chick and some people that disagreed with her. And I have a million comments on here, so I don't even know if I'd be able to find it because there's like 500 comments on this post. So both ways, actually, where people are, and honestly, a lot of people made insensitive comments on there. Were like, "Oh, I got pregnant the first time." And you're like, "Okay, cool, thanks. You are the problem."
Good for you.
Not
Our friends got pregnant on their honeymoon.
not people getting pregnant first on the first time is the problem. It's the people that say that when you're obviously like, "Oh, I'm struggling," and they're like, "Well, I got pregnant on the first time, so
Yeah.
I don't know what your problem is." I can't find it. I'll have to find it. We can talk about it, or I'll just read through it, the thread next time. But oh, another person was like, I can't remember what the previous comments were, but it's expensive because somebody was like, why would you just adopt or something? Or no, I said how I was just frustrated about like the fact that I'm gonna have to go through all this pain, like IVF, different things, and the chick was like, okay. And so somebody said somebody was explaining. They said it's expensive, like over 20,000 for a round of IVF. You have to give yourself tons of shots, hormones. It's just overall not a fun experience. And the chick said neither is pregnancy or birth, but she seems to want to do that. And then we've also gotten he's a dud. Do you remember that one? We got in a fight over that one because I was like, I can't believe somebody just said this. They're like, he's a dud, and you're like,
I thought it was
that's
funny.
funny. And I was like, yeah, fine, you can think it's funny, but also what an awful thing to say on a post.
We'll still disagree on that one. I think it's funny. I thought it was funny.
But I think I can't remember which post it was on, but it was a post where I was not being funny. Like I wasn't trying to be funny. I was like
It was a
sharing
serious
something
post.
more vulnerable, and somebody's like, "He's a dud," and I feel like though you're really big into commenting rage bait things on people's Instagrams.
Yeah.
That's kind of your thing. Anyways, I'll have to make a better list. I just put this together, but those were some of the random things that people have said. What's your take on all the things people have said on Instagram? Are you
Don't
hurt by
care.
it? Like, does it impact you at all?
No.
I feel like,
What I would love is for them to come to our house and have a conversation one-on-one and see how they react.
yeah, I mean, that's what people online.
Yeah, social media.
I think next week's update should not update, but just a snippet should be what you say. You should probably say something to Hot Take if he feels this way. He's not the one. I'm not.
Should I respond to all the negative comments about me in like a wait, but like I'm just trying to grieve for a little bit and
I
see
think
what
you
everyone
should, and we
everyone
should
says.
just say what.
Collect all the comments and read them off.
I think we should. I'm really curious how much of a yeah. Because here's the thing: the way that I take it on Instagram, or like my perspective on it is, there's been a couple where yeah, you stop for a second, you're like, oh, that hurts because I'm feeling misunderstood. But then I'm like, first of all, I look at their profiles, and they're usually some. Oh. Okay, the last one that I did, I don't have my phone, and it was a trial reel. I was talking about how there's just not a lot of good options with sperm donors, and somebody was like, 2 homely people make really good babies, so you guys should be fine.
To what?
Homely looking people, basically like ugly looking people. And then one of them was like, she's like, I'm sure they're not as, I'm sure they look very similar to your husband, something like that. She's basically saying they were ugly.
Yeah.
Woo woo. Anyways, so I don't think it really impacts me that much because I really am like, you're just some crazy on the internet. And also, I've seen people try to logic with them, like that have good debates back, and people don't, like, you don't logic on Instagram.
Yeah.
There's no logicking. So, anyways, I think we could probably save for next week. We covered a lot. I think it'd be really interesting to talk about like some of the things that people have said to us. when we've talked about our infertility and things that have helped, things that have hurt, things that we have
We
to
have to
just
be careful though, because I know some of those people are like people that have that like literally might probably listen to this. We'll just have to preface all those conversations with peace and love.
No, I think we can definitely preface with the my thoughts on it, or a lot of the things that we've been told have been similar. It's not like one specific person said it.
It's been multiple people.
And I typically, for most things, have been with a couple of things that have been said, we've typically communicated, hey, I would appreciate this instead.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually really probably educational for people on both sides. I've done a lot of self reflection of, hey, this is why I appreciate these things and could be helpful for somebody that's dealing with infertility and for somebody that's dealing with friends that have infertility. Understanding the experience that you're going through and like what is beneficial for you to
Yeah.
hear versus the latter, you know? Because some
Mhm.
people just, I don't know, like until I've gone through a certain experience, you don't really understand what that looks like
Yeah.
and how to respond to those, you know? So we'll be here. We won't, we're not putting anybody on flame, but we can talk about that next week. Anyways, thanks so much for joining us and listening to us ramble.
We'll see you next time.
We will catch you next week. Over and out.